All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to unlock a revolutionary, and I mean incredibly dangerous, way of seeing the cosmos. And the wildest part? It was all built entirely inside the mind of one of history's most radical thinkers.
So, let's start with a really intense question. What kind of idea could be so dangerous that you'd be willing to die for it? We're going way back to the Renaissance for this one. A time of brilliant discoveries, but also, a ton of peril if you stepped out of line. And for one man, the answer to that question led him straight to the executioner's pyre.
So, our story is all about this guy, Giordano Bruno. He was a Dominican friar, a philosopher, a mystic, a real thinker. But his ideas, whoa, they were considered so heretical, so threatening to the powers that be, that they cost him everything.
And here's what's so wild about it. His crime, if you can call it that, wasn't just what he believed. It was how he came to believe it. It was all about his method, a kind of secret architecture inside his own mind for building a whole new reality, completely separate from what his eyes could see.
Okay, so let's really get into this. Because the key to unlocking Bruno's whole secret universe, it lies in this super powerful, really ancient mental technique. But he didn't just use it, he took it to a completely new, extraordinary level.
Right, so at the very foundation of his entire system was something called the art of Loki. You've probably heard of it as a memory palace. It's this incredible memory tool that, believe it or not, goes all the way back to ancient Greece.
And the basic idea is actually pretty simple. You just choose the place you know really, really well, like your own house. Then you mentally place images of whatever you want to remember along a set path. To remember everything, you just walk that path again in your mind. It's that straightforward.
But, and this is the big but, this is where Bruno took a huge revolutionary leap. See, he wasn't using this to remember, a grocery list or the talking points for a speech. No, he saw the potential for something so much bigger, something cosmic. So how exactly does a simple memory trick become this revolutionary map of the universe? Well, for Bruno, it became the blueprint for a model of the cosmos that completely challenged everything people thought they knew.
And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. You had two completely opposing worldviews. On one hand, the official story, a neat, tidy, finite universe, with Earth right in the middle. God was somewhere out there, separate from it all. But then you have Bruno's vision, an infinite, ever-changing universe with countless worlds. And in his view, divinity wasn't out there, it was in everything. I mean, you can see why that was so dangerous, right? It suggested people could connect to the divine directly, without needing anyone in the middle. So to build this new universe inside his head, he needed some building blocks. And he found them in these things called planetary sigils. These were old, hermetic symbols that were believed to hold the actual essence and power of the planets. So for Bruno, these weren't just doodles, they were like live wires to the cosmos, the very foundation of his mental world. Then, he took those building blocks, the sigils, and he organized them on these incredibly intricate mental blueprints. Think of them like complex geometric grids that mapped out the heavens, but according to his own unique mystical system. So you put it all together, the sigils, the grids, and the memory palace technique. What did he create? A fully navigable, three-dimensional model of his infinite universe. He wasn't just, memorizing facts about stars and planets. He was literally building and exploring his own personal cosmos, all inside his mind.
Now, for more than 400 years, this amazing mental universe was basically locked away in Bruno's writings. It was a world built for one person. And when he died, it kind of died with him. But what if it didn't have to? What if we could actually step inside and see what he saw?
Well, today, we have a key. It's a type of AI called generative synthesis, and what it can do is pretty incredible. It can take a set of abstract rules, like Bruno's system of sigils and grids, and actually translate them into a visual reality that we can see and explore. So get this, we can now use Bruno's own forbidden system to actually build and visualize the universe he imagined. Something that was once trapped inside the mind of a so-called heretic can now become a real, immersive world that any of us can experience.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, it turns out that a 16th century memory technique was way more than just a way to remember things. It was a creative engine. It held the code for a universe so vast, so profound, that it was considered forbidden. And now we're finally cracking that code.
And that kind of leaves us with a final, pretty cool thought. This technology isn't just about building the future. It's also a key to unlocking and even resurrecting these lost worlds from the past. So you have to wonder, What other forbidden ideas, what other lost universes are just out there waiting to be visualized?